President Akufo-Addo says Ghana's infrastructure will be given a massive boost with a $2 billion from China's Sinohydro. The president says all 16 regions across the country will have a fair share of development projects earmarked out of the deal.
Speaking at the sword-cutting ceremony of the Tamale interchange today, which is the first project under the agreement, the president said the Sinohydro master project support would be a game-changer in addressing Ghana's infrastructure challenges.
Tamale is the main transit point to Ghana's northern neighbors in Burkina Faso and other landlocked countries from the southern part of the country. It also serves as a major trading route and increasingly a business destination for many in the West African sub-region. Currently, the central part of Tamale experiences major traffic holdups during the peak periods. It is against this background that government is undertaking this infrastructure project under the Sinohydro agreement to construct a 1 kilometer long interchange in the Tamale metropolis. The over $646 million Tamale interchange project will include a 10-kilometer asphalt overlay and 441 kilometers of roads together with 2 interchanges. Speaking at the sword-cutting ceremony, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, said government is enforcing the local content law in the execution of the project.
Government is also ensuring that in accordance with the domestic content law, a minimum of 30% of works will be undertaken by Ghanaian contractors and supervised by Ghanaian consultants.
Let's get to the Western region now, where police in the Tarkwa-Nsuaem part of that region have arrested 5 persons and fired warning shots to disperse a thick crowd of demonstrators. A critical portion of the Takoradi road that connects the Tarkwa township was closed for almost 12 hours today after demonstrators mounted roadblocks and burned tires to deny drivers entry. The residents are protesting over the poor nature of the link road from Tarkwa to Takoradi. Although a major mining town, Tarkwa-Nsuaem and its adjoining communities have some of the worst roads in the country, and this is not the first time residents are demonstrating over bad roads. Today's road closure left drivers and commuters stranded, and according to protesters, several calls on the government to get the road fixed have fallen on deaf ears. Let's get to the line and let's speak to one of the protesting residents, Tony in Kuma Boating. First of all, Tony, this is quite interesting. We heard that 5 people were arrested today. Can you confirm this to us?
Yes, as I speak to you, I've spoken to the leadership of the demonstrators, and one of them has confirmed to me that they've got some men at the police station. Well, they did not specify the fight that you're talking about, but they told me that some of the demonstrators have been arrested this evening.
All right, Tony, now for those who may be watching this or they may be hearing this for the first time, give us a fair idea of how bad these roads are, to the extent that you had to burn tires and incur the wrath, quote unquote, of the Ghana Police Service.
Nathan, the nature of the portion from Kamso Junction, that is from the Ghana Manganese Company, Super Junction to Mauritius, so it's so terrible. The nature of this road is one of the worst I've ever seen.
More than 5 years after an emergency response and first aid post was constructed along the Accra-Tema motorway, checks by City News have revealed that the facility has been left to rot. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Tarkwa-Nsuaem only last week announced government's plans of establishing some 100 emergency response and first aid posts at strategic locations along major highways in the country. City News' Tema correspondent Elvis Washington visited the facility and has filed this report.
According to government, it has established about 100 emergency response units along some major highways across the country. And emergency response units actually has to have some basic equipment to resuscitate accident victims. This is one of such emergency response units along the Tema-Accra motorway. I'm here today to find out whether this very facility is operational or otherwise. The emergency response first aid post located around the Accra toll booth on the Accra-Tema motorway has been there for well over 5 years. The facility, which looks quite beautiful from the outside, has in it 9 personnel manning it as officers responsible for handling emergency cases on the motorway. Their core responsibility is to attend to emergency cases on that stretch of the highway.
The Director of Communications of the NPP, Yao Boabian-Samoa, has warned that the ongoing discussions on ending political vigilantism could break down if the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, continues to act in bad faith.
He contends that the decision of the latter to put a spin on talks that were held behind closed doors in the public domain after an agreement was reached is in breach of the rules of engagement.
Yesterday, the two parties met for the first time under the facilitation of the Peace Council to begin dialogue on ending political vigilantism. According to Mr. Boabian-Samoa, the NDC is deliberately acting in a manner that will hamper the success of the dialogue.
An eminent politician, a veteran politician like Asiedu Nketia, go around saying things that indeed I can just say that it's an interpretation of his own facts. He wants to impose his set of facts on the nation, and it is not fair.
The Ga Traditional Council has announced a ban on drumming and noise making in some parts of the national capital starting from the 13th of May to the 13th of June 2019. The 1 month-long ban is a custom that precedes the celebration of the Homowo Festival of the Chiefs and People of Gamashi. There's more in the report filed by City News' Philip Nilati.
Addressing the press, the acting president of the Ga Traditional Council, Nidodu Insaki II, called on religious bodies and all residents of Accra to abide by the directive from the council. He outlined the guidelines that should be observed by religious bodies and individuals for peace to prevail.
All worship should be confined to church premises. Noises, including hand clapping, should be ceased. Use of noisy musical instruments must be avoided. The position of loudspeakers outside the churches and mosque is hereby banned during the period.
Nidodu Insaki II also indicated that a task force has been constituted to work in collaboration with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and other security agencies to ensure that the directive is adhered to.